My name is Maik Peters. I'm the founder of Pitco. Pitco stands for Peters Industry Training and Consulting. We were founded 6 years ago. We back then only offered training solutions, customized training solutions for industrial manufacturers and PLC training, PLC programmer training. That was in 2016, and we founded that in Charleston, West Virginia, because all the coal miners there were out of a job. And we were looking for a lot of controls engineers back in the days in the state of West Virginia. We had one of the bigger tier one suppliers in the automotive industry, Gestamp. They just bought a plant there, and they were looking desperately for engineers that they couldn't find because West Virginia was standing for coal only and not for automotive. I'm also the founder of Mapeos. We talked about that briefly before. Mapeos are founded 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, as the company that runs the in-house marketing of Pitco. In-house marketing for us means content marketing. We have done no real marketing efforts when it comes to paid marketing so far. The only thing we have done is organic and content marketing. Like I mentioned, we were starting this company in order to help coal miners to transfer to control engineers. And we had to jump through some hoops in West Virginia because they had government grants out there for their unemployed people. But the way they set this up was that they had only $6,500 in government grants for unemployed coal miners if there was a job lined up already. So we founded a group in the state of West Virginia, Senate and House of Delegates, together with some private entity representatives, HR managers from Gestamp, for example, Gestamp United States, as well as the local Gestamp plant. We fought hard for them to change the rules and that they could train the people without a job being lined up, because as we know, if we're looking for personnel, then we want to hire the people right away and not in 8 weeks or 15 weeks from now until everything is going through the application process for the government grant and then the training and so on and so on. So, end of this discussion was that they said no, and we were almost out of business because we couldn't gain access to those coal miners because they were broke themselves because they were unemployed. So that led to me being broke. All right, so we had a big problem. We founded a company that was mainly focusing on giving training to a few automotive companies and coal miners that were out of a job and had no money to pay us. So I had to pivot and I had to take a job. And that was very devastating for me I don't know who here in this room is a founder of a company, but it's a dream. And that's very devastating for someone that had to go back and say, hey, I failed. It was during that time that I was just going back to the drawing board and thought about, I need more customers. How do I get in front of more customers? I failed with my company. This was really bad for me. Mentally, that did something to me. So I was working for someone, also a German company out of Chattanooga. They sent me to Tesla. And that was a huge benefit for me because now suddenly I was in an environment in the Bay Area in California where, outside of work, right? The people I talked to, they were all in the digital business, right? They were all programmers at Facebook, Google, all those other companies. And they gave me some ideas. They were like, why don't you do content marketing? Build your authority first, and then the customers will follow. And so I did. I went to YouTube and recorded about 9 to 10 videos over the term of 2 years that I put on YouTube, where I taught people how to do PLC programming on the Siemens platform. I'm a 25-year veteran on the Siemens platform now. That's all I know. I have been a PLC programmer. I've been a CNC programmer. I did Siemens products all my life. So I did that. I still kept my job, but I did that, and I had about 4 videos online, or 5, I think. That was 5 years ago, where people asked me, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm a trainer for PLC programming based on the Siemens platform. And they were like, well, can you show us anything? Why would we pay you any money? And so I sent them to my YouTube channel, and they watched those videos and they said, well, this is great, even I understand now, and I'm just the HR guy, like I'm gonna hire you for training. So since then, that's 5 years ago now. I mean, don't worry about the date there, July 25th, 2010, because that was my personal Google account that I put this on. So the date is a little bit screwed there, but like we started this in 2017. So far since then, I got almost 400,000 eyeballs, or actually 800,000 eyeballs on my training courses. That led to a lot of people reaching out to us to ask them if we can offer the training to them as a paid version and a little bit more detailed version, because this was really just an absolute beginner's guide to PLC programming on the Siemens platform. So overall, over those years, our channel gained about 3,200 subscribers as of yesterday. Still to this day, even though we don't actively upload anything anymore, we have about 2,000 views every month on our product, on our services, you know, that we don't have to do anything for anymore. Meaning we put the work in once, and I did it by myself. You know, the only thing I did was like sitting down on my computer, screen recorded everything, put it up there, provided a lot of value for a lot of people, maintenance crews, PLC programmers that, you know, were on the younger side, right? They didn't know yet. Electricians that wanted to, like, you know, go out there and like change their life because they didn't want to be an electrician only. They wanted to be like helpful in their maintenance crew and be a PLC programmer, troubleshooting the equipment, you know, and make something out of their life beyond just being a lower level maintenance crew member. All this over the years led to us being onboarded, was, just to name a few here, the biggest ones, with all those companies as a certified training providers on the Siemens platform. We are creating trainings specialized for Volkswagen standards. We're creating specialized training for Tesla standards. Me personally, I have been lucky enough to be on the software standard team of Tesla as a freelancer. A few years ago, we were there like for over a year. Basically lived in the Bay Area during that time. Saw my family like once a month for a week or so, but then the rest of the time I was like working 15 hours with the great team of Tesla back then, and developed their software standard. All that, of course, is something that, you know, I can bring value first for free to my clients or to my prospects, right? It's like with all those videos that I put out there, like I have proven that I'm an authority on that, in that space already before they even sign up with us. Because often it's like this, like especially with training, you as a company, you don't know before, is that person any good or not? Is that training any good or not? Can I have an example? No one wants to give you an example because, you know, then I gave you the knowledge already and you didn't pay for it. A lot of people think like that, and a lot of people think that just by providing a little bit upfront value, people wouldn't buy from you anymore, right? That is absolutely wrong. We have proven this over and over again. We have had huge success with that. Like, no matter who I send to my YouTube channel, 85% of the people that ask me if my services are any good, and I send them that way, have signed up with us. And we're talking about thousands of dollars per course and per participant. We have done so far hundreds of thousands of dollars in trainings for our clients worldwide. We're operating here in the United States, but we're also operating in Europe. We're just in the midst of like opening up a branch in Estonia that will like make sure that we are having a foothold in the European market. So, and then 2020 happened, right? So I was in the training business and in a freelance programmer business, right? I'm a very small company at that point, right? We're talking about not even $200,000 in gross sales, right, per year. And we know what happened. You know, suddenly the United States said, kommst du nicht rein, right? So that was a huge problem for most of our clients. And it was a huge problem, that year was a huge problem for me too, because, you know, in the beginning of the year, from January through June, I had no work because no one wanted to see me on site, right? So I was very desperate. I took a job myself, you know, and then quit it in the midst of the pandemic because I realized for myself, I cannot work for other people anymore, at least not like that. So picked up the phone and called everyone I knew in the automotive industry, everyone I knew in the industry, and I was like, "Do you have work for me?" They were like, "Well, we do have a lot of work because we can't get our engineers over anymore." So now suddenly, by accident, I went from being in the freelance industry, in the programmer industry, to like in the staffing industry, like transferring over in the staffing industry, where I suddenly had to provide like a lot of people, to my clients that couldn't send their own engineers. That took a lot of trust on their part also, because a lot of people, especially in Europe, think that the quality of engineers that we have here in the United States, especially on the European platforms, there is not there, or it's not that good, right? So I had to prove myself, but they knew me, they knew the quality of my work, so they took my word for it, and we were able to generate 400% in growth in just the time from June to December in 2020. So where everyone else was like in my industry was suffering, I was banking on that because I had this huge network in the front end from the customers, and as well as in the back end from the vendors. So I worked with a lot of vendors before where I was part of their team. So I knew that their engineers, they were good. I didn't burn my name if I would go with them. So I connected the people, right? And at this time, it was still going that the way of like, if I don't know someone, if I don't know that a person is good, I'm not going to work with that person. I'm not going to offer that service to anyone else because I don't want to burn my name. My name is more important than anything else to me because I only have one reputation, right? I can round up more work. That's not a problem. I cannot round up another reputation. That would be done. So that being said, I was very happy, you can think, right? So 400% growth, that's for me, I felt like, Superman. But was it really sustainable for me to like have that kind of growth? And in 2021, we found out in the early months of 2021, we have a staff shortage. We have more customers than we have staff that we can work with. So I thought about what I did in 2017 with my content marketing, with my social media marketing, with my organic growth in getting in front of more eyeballs. So like this is how that looked for me, right? In 2021, I assumed growth of like 100% again, right? I thought I could grow this by 100%, but is this really 100% growth? Because I only worked for 6 months in 2020. That is not 100% growth. That is more 0% growth. That's just filling up the rest of the year. The growth that I had didn't come from me marketing more or anything. That was just me picking up the phone and like banking on a problem that we had in 2020, meaning there was a travel ban, right? So, but how can I generate growth again? And that like growth has to come from a point of view of like, okay, I want it to be organically growing, right? I need to get in front of more eyeballs. So I thought again, so this time I need to be in front of more vendors because that was really my problem. My problem was not the front end anymore. My problem was the back end. So what happens was that I read a lot about like, social media marketing and, having like 10 videos on YouTube and, like getting like basically like clients on autopilot, right? Or sending clients there that were prospects and they're signing up with me is one thing. But actively finding people like me that I had to like, vet and see if they're any good before I sent them out to my customers to not burn my name is very different. So I went to LinkedIn. LinkedIn, in my opinion, one of the most underrated social platforms in the world. Organic reach there is through the roof, costs you nothing. Like we talked about, PPC ads that you send out there. It's like I get, and we'll get to numbers later, but I get in front of as many people as you do for free. All right. So I have a little bit more problems to actually like do the lead gen like that because there's no form where people can fill out stuff. But what this does, the whole social media marketing, the whole content marketing, is I built my authority. That means like once I get in front of a customer, for them it's a no-brainer to go with us because they already know us, right? So I use it more for branding purposes, the organic reach, than for actual paid advertisement and like lead generation. The leads come to me by themselves. I do not, to this point, do any customer acquisition just by like sending out pay-per-click ads. So let me ask you a question. So from all of you here in the room, it's like, who is aware of what a customer costs to acquire? Do you know your customer acquisition cost?
Depends a lot on the industry,
roughly. Do you know the lifetime value of your customer too?
Depends on the industry, yes.
So, but like, okay, for each industry, you know that, right? It's like, you know, okay, my customer acquisition cost in, let's say, you talked about plastics, is X, right? And that customer, if once they sign up with us, you know, buys so many machines from us and stuff like that, right? But a lot of people that I talk to, they don't know. So this framework that I'm using here was like organic growth and content marketing, giving free value to my customers, is just for one thing. On the front end, to lower my customer acquisition cost, because like I want it to be close to zero, and on the back end, to gain more trustworthy engineers that can work with my clients without me burning my name. So in January of 2021, I went on LinkedIn. I had about 357 connections there. All of those people, I shook their hands. You know, I use LinkedIn like most of the people back then, and probably like still today, to connect with people I already knew, right? And I know, and I see this very often, right? I knew this person already. Like, why would I connect with them on LinkedIn? I mean, it's great, but like, we're already Facebook friends anyways, probably, something like that, right? So I changed my tactics. I went from that to like, you know, like being active in groups. LinkedIn has a group function like Facebook too, whereas like there's whole like little subcultures of like controls engineers only, or you know, like painters or whatever, like associations of realtors and all those little groups where if you're active in there, you know, you gain a lot of following. And like until this day, you know, I was able, that was yesterday by the way, so from last year's 357, you know, organically grown my LinkedIn account to 8,620 followers until yesterday, and we're already at a different number today. All right, so that's about 1,000 people that come to my profile every month for free, right? So they know my name. The moment I actually want to do business with them, what happens, right? They Google me. The first thing that pops up, if you Google my name, is my LinkedIn profile. And that already speaks for itself. It's like I'm not a nobody anymore, right? It's organically grown. Am I a superstar in anything? No. But like, you know, like I'm findable. Like people can find me easily, right? And I have so many channels out there that, you know, if people want to buy one or the other service from me, I already provided value on the different channels. So I have a LinkedIn following there of like 8,600 for now. We have a Siemens PLC training YouTube channel that has 3,000, almost 3,200 and growing subscribers. I have a channel that is called Untus Deutschland. I don't know who here has followed that channel yet, where we provide value for people in Germany that want to come to the United States and, you know, immigrate here or just come here on a work visa, right? I'm in the recruiting business now, so I recruit more people that way. What I'm also doing is like I provide business development opportunities for entrepreneurs and companies in Germany over here in the United States. So similar what the chamber does, right? We do market research for companies, just a little bit more on a personal basis. So this for me is a lead generation. It's in the German language. I started this in May of last year. I'm already at like 1,600 subscribers on the YouTube channel and roughly at 800 and growing on the Facebook page. We just started, like mentioned, we just relaunched the Mampios LLC company on September 1st. The Facebook page for Mampios LLC was created around that time. So, and within the last, I don't know, 4 months now, you know, we have grown it to like almost 4,000 followers there. You know, we have a personal Maik Peters Facebook page where we have about like 1,000 followers. Like each channel provides value to the different type of customer. So what we're doing is like all the services that we provide, we have a different channel for that. We have PLC training, we have, you know, business development or recruiting on that side. we have marketing on that side, we have personal development and training on my personal page. So all that brings it together to roughly, almost 20,000. Yes, please.
How do you do that now from a content standpoint, as you have to fill all these channels with content? Because if there's no content, people will not come, and you cannot do the, I guess you don't do the one fits all and create one content.
No, it's all. Well, the thing is this. Like I said, like the Siemens channel, we have created, I would say, roughly 10, 11 videos, and then they're on autopilot. There were more relevant ones, but like they're still there, and like we're still growing.
So you don't do active content creation.
No, we don't do active content creation there anymore. But you have to distinguish between, you have cornerstone pillar content, and you have like everyday content, right? So the pillar content is what I describe as like searchable content. You put this on YouTube, for example, if someone is looking for Siemens PLC training, Siemens PLC programming for a specific problem, right, that I have put up there, then they will find this. And so I still have 2,000 people watching those videos every month. I put in the work once, and now I benefit from that still, right? Plus, like I can always say, hey, you know what? If you don't believe in our services because you don't know me yet, please go there and have it for free, and then you make a decision based on that. And they always come back 85% of the time, right? And now we're like with the marketing company, we have a team, we have the opportunity to like create more content for the different channels. For the Untus Deutschland channel, for example, we have for over a year, I have created, me personally, because no one speaks German in my team, me personally, I have created over 100 videos, right? Every Sunday, there was a video that was published. Sometimes it was like cornerstone content, searchable content, that still gets me the most views after a year, over a year now, like every month. But it's like basically catering to the people that I have identified as my perfect customer, right? Either like a direct customer for business development or a candidate that I can recruit for either myself or for one of my clients, right? So distinguish between, here's what I do right now, I put in the work right now, and this will benefit me forever. Or until YouTube goes out of business, what is very unlikely to happen. What a lot of people don't understand is YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, right? And we talked about SEO before, right? Like I think SEO is dead. If you don't really rank anymore, because YouTube is evolving into something where it's more about you being real and you giving value than what you said. Then I have the most like backlinks, I have the most, like I use the keyword the most amount of times than my competitor. He's now second because he doesn't repeat himself so often. Instead of like, here's some really good value, someone comes on my page and reads my page, the whole thing, and then clicks to the next, and clicks to the next, clicks to the next, like talking about session time, right? That is something that Google now prefers over backlinks and stuff like that. I mean, Google is a whole different animal there. I kind of disagree with you what you said earlier when it comes to Google My Business, that is better for local businesses. It's better for them, yes, in the sense of like, well, if someone looks for like, I don't know, marketing near me, then it's better for me. I have a physical address, like most other companies do, right? Unless like me, like for a long time, I ran my business from home, right? I didn't want my address out there, right? But Google My Business does more than only that. You can post updates there too. It's a social media platform too. You can do that. You can put, news about your company there too. And that is something that is undervalued because a lot of people don't do it. Therefore, if you do it, you have an advantage. You can actually rank better in Google based on what kind of content you put on there, right? It's all about content. If you have your white paper there, I would definitely put it into a carousel, for example, and post it like as a step-by-step, scrollable content on Google My Business, and you will rank better. But like I said, you have to create the content. You give the value, right? And giving value on all of those channels looks totally different. Like the followers there on the Siemens PLC platform, if I create new content for that, that's going to be a learning video. It's like where I post, hey, here's how to solve this problem in Siemens PLC programming. If I post something on Untus Deutschland, what is like catering to people that are still in Germany that would like to come over here or are interested in branching out with their business over here, then I'm creating content for that, right? Some of it is just like me vlogging and showing that I am an authority in coming to the United States because I'm here, right? That's the thing. You have to provide that extra value by like showing that you are an authority in whatever field you are representing, right? And then with the Mapeos LLC, we're like a marketing company. We're highly focused on podcasts, video podcasts, because I think this is like the very hot commodity right now. It's easy to produce. You get a lot of content out of that. And so what we do on Mapeos LLC is like we're posting podcasts. We're posting podcasts, snippets, shorts. We're posting, like how-to videos. We're posting all that kind of content where that benefits our viewership, our followers on that kind of channel. And then with the Maik Peters, for me, it's a test, right? I want to build my personal brand. I want to help people grow their businesses. I want to show them exactly what I have done to come over here, and make it from like rags to riches if you want. All right. So if I put this into numbers, don't judge me. I'm a small company. I went from 0 followers and 0 money in year 1 of my business. It was 2016, to 100 followers, and I think we made roughly like $64,000 the first year in business, the first full year in business, and then so on. You see the growth, right? Like except the 2020 jump, the 400% that I can't connect to our social media marketing, can't connect to that, because what happened there was not that I grew in followers so much, then I changed the industry or I added something to my portfolio, right? I went from training and some freelance work, development of software standards, to staffing, right? That really made the difference. Suddenly I leveraged other people's time, and that was the big jump. But then 2021, right? There was no growth. And then I implemented new social media marketing growth strategies, and they got me year to date to today, right? Well, the year's not over yet. We're just in Q4. We are, at almost 20,000 followers, and we have around about 120% growth. Like I didn't add anything. We just added another strategy. I filled up my backend. I now have. I'm able to like fill an engineering position, high-level engineers like PLC programmers, robot programmers, project engineers that have the capabilities of like either being in the electrical design space, PLC programming, or robot programming. I can fill those positions in between 48 to 72 hours. Yeah. So that's like, you ask me, you need someone like on Friday, I have someone for you. That's not a problem. I do that on a daily basis. What this also did, like just out of my recent experience, right? So we just landed a major contract for a tier 1 supplier. The project is absolutely in the red, all right? I'm not gonna say who it is because, NDAs and shit. But like, the thing is, they vetted us, all right? They vetted us. They came to us and said, okay, who are you? We don't know you. And I was like, Google me, right? They did that and was like, can you give us a little presentations about all the customers that you worked for and all the projects that you have done? We are now, only after that small amount of time, I mean, I personally was always known as the firefighter. I come in when nothing works anymore and I fix it. But now we're known as firefighters. They want to go with the cheap personnel, right? That fits in the budget of the turnkey project that they had. But if everything is in the red, money isn't an issue anymore. And then they come to us and they want help fast. And that's what we do. We help fast. It's like this. And we turn projects around all the time. Yeah, we have turned projects around, I would say, with almost every project that we were in. Like, we come in, we have very skilled personnel. We're drawing our engineers from the United States, from Mexico, from Europe. We're all equipped with visas. We're not complaining about long-term on-site projects. Like we have engineers that stay on site for 6 months at a time, don't see their family, don't complain. Then we give them a break of 2 months, right? So, but it's like we have enough people, we have the pool now because we do the back-end LinkedIn content marketing, costs us no money, makes us a lot of money, right? Coming back to like customer acquisition costs. In our case, it's a little bit different because we also have to talk about vendor acquisition costs, right? Because I'm in the business of like connecting people. So how do we vet those people? Well, because we're like in the industry already since over 20 years, you know, I know almost everyone in, you know, on specific like job sites, right? If I see in a project list, like past projects, if I see a specific project where I know someone, I'm going to call that person. You know, and we all know that, you know, we're all kind of in the German mafia here, right? So we call each other up and it's like, hey, you know that person? Yes, heard of him? Yes, work with him? Any good? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Be honest, because that's your reputation now, right? No, can work with him? Or please, I would be careful, right? And then that way, if I have 2 referrals for that, and that's why I always refer to us like the Industrial Automation Country Club. We need 2 referrals, or I need to have worked with that person before, because I don't want to burn my name. So of course, if I look at those numbers, the next like logical goal for me is 100,000 followers. Means like I make at least $20 million or more, right? For me, big deal. Like I said, I'm operating on very small margins, but at the same time on almost zero risk. But that's a big deal to me. So who of you, because I was like that once too, who of you think that doesn't work in our industry or in your specific industry you're in? Anyone? That?
I have to question it because we're so specialized.
Well, and you, okay, so you think, like no other hand went up. You think you're more specialized than any of those people here? That's just a question.
I would say yes.
Why is that?
Because we just have a product that's unknown. It's not sexy. It's just a product.
I don't think any, look, I don't think anyone in this, I don't think teaching PLC programming is rather sexy.
Yeah, but you're with a big company, Siemens.
What's that?
You're basically teaching Siemens programming, which is you have one of two to choose, 3.
Okay, but like the thing is this, like we're talking about Siemens has the smallest market share when it comes to programmable logic controllers on the North American continent, with the exception of Mexico. Allen Bradley, Omron, they're all way bigger.
Allen Bradley is huge here, but Siemens is big all over.
Yeah, but I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
there's a
Like
lot of
it's,
German
but it's not very sexy. You know, it's like the thing is.
But when the customer has a problem, that's the whole.
Well, I mean that's easy, right? You don't have to close anyone when the customer already has a problem. We're talking about, you know, customer acquisition cost, driving down customer acquisition costs. So it's like, so you said you're very special, right?
We just have a product that just is very special.
But that's perfect for that. That's exactly more perfect than if your product is not very special. If you have a commodity, like what value can you give? Everything is already said about that product.
Something different.
If you have something very, very special, then you can give some very, very special value to your clients. So, and not by just talking about your product all day long, but solving the problems or giving value on problems that your customer also has. Because you want to establish the authority in the field that the customer might have a problem in. So what's your product for?
It's in the maintenance area.
Mhm.
So the last chain or the last link of chain where nobody wants to invest. It's usually you usually deal with maintenance managers who just want to keep the machine running.
Right.
They don't give a flip where they get the product from. They just want to make sure that.
Yes. They will reach out to you when they have a problem, and then they don't know you.
Correct.
Right. So that's exactly that. It's like, why not? Because they have problems, and I'm in the same business, right? Maintenance people. I train them, right? I know I have in our like, where is he? Nick. We just came up with a persona because we want to start like doing a little bit of like PPC for our trainings, right? we have named that person Chuck, right? Chuck makes about 75 grand a year, right? Maintenance manager, like drives a pickup truck, loves sports and hunting, probably chews tobacco, right? That is the persona. We're talking to that person. Now, what other problems does that person have that kind of, at least remotely, relates to your product? So if you identify those problems and you go to YouTube and actually tell people exactly how to solve that problem that is not your product, it's like, solve that problem, it's our product. It's like, right? It's not that. It's like more, hey, you have that problem? That's not a problem. Here's a solution to that. It's free. We show you how that works, right? Invest a little bit upfront in that. Searchable content. It's your, cornerstone pillar content that you do over and over and over. And we call that kind of like the bikini tactic, right? So what does a bikini do? It covers just 20%. The rest you can see, right? But the good stuff is covered. So that's like, right?
But it still looks attractive on most people.
Correct, but like the value, you give value, right? You give value to a customer that you want to acquire later. Now, what you can do with this is that once the 20% that you want to run ads on, you run it to those people that already know you. You can target them, you can retarget them. If you have like videos on LinkedIn, you can retarget a person that watched more than 30 seconds, more than 45 seconds, more, or the whole video of whatever content you produced. LinkedIn, for example, also totally underrated, has a huge section where you can provide learning courses. LinkedIn by now is a huge learning platform.
I think the biggest issue I have is more internal politics than it is external. We have a very specific corporate identity that we have to follow. We can't do just any video. Every video has to be vetted. Headquarters, I know you guys all through German companies. You probably have the same issue. And everybody, nobody wants you to post anything without seeing it first. Blah blah blah.
Well, it's a very German mentality,
Yeah,
right? This is like.
And ask you for forgiveness later. I get my hand slapped, and I have to show the sales.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You will not have a direct correlation between I put out 8 videos and now I have so and so much more sales. It's more like that's not a sprint, right? Content marketing is not a sprint; it's a marathon.
But then, how do you convince your leadership? I mean, you're a single.
I mean, I'm different. I own the company, right? That's different. But like,
But how do you convert someone to think your way?
In my point of view, you have to think outside of the box. Yes, you work for Meyer, but your personal brand is Rob Kühl. And under these circumstances, I think you have to talk about the brand Rob Kühl and the content towards it, and not Meyer. And then also
yeah, but we're talking about, I get you, absolutely. It's a problem. It's a problem because, if someone just has the blindfolds on, it's like, we have done that for 40 years. Why would we change anything? We had good sales. You wouldn't have a job if we wouldn't be so good. You don't do anything about that.
I mean, your story makes me happy for you on one hand, but it makes me envious of you too, because you have a great.
That's the thing. It's like, okay, so you're a salesman, right? Everyone is a salesperson.
Everybody's.
So, so there's your task, right? You have to convince them that is working. Convincing, I think it works for everyone. It doesn't matter what industry, it doesn't matter what company structure, it doesn't matter what product, right? Think of Tesla. Manufacturing company, yes? Software company?
Yes.
Yeah. Battery company? Yes. Manufacturer. So what do you think Tesla has as a marketing budget, roughly?
Zero.
Yeah, 0. They don't spend any money because they don't have to, because they have an Elon. Yeah, they have an Elon Musk. So Elon Musk does nothing else but run through the world and piss everyone off with his content on Twitter, on Facebook, mostly on Twitter now. So he writes something like that. He buys Twitter, then says something like, oh, next I'm buying Coca-Cola and put the cocaine back in. So everyone is talking about that. That was the most clicked post ever on Twitter, or in the history of Twitter. So But we don't all have an Elon, right? So that's a problem.
Except for when he carried the sink in Twitter.
Let that sink in, right?
Sink in.
So that's it. Who of you thinks that when he presented the Cybertruck and took that metal ball and threw it in the glass and it broke, how many people of you think that was an accident? That was planned. There is no way around that not being planned. So what happened was like everyone was like, he botched the presentation. Everyone was talking about Tesla. Like that, it's easy. The same happened with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was on the news all the time. He didn't have to spend any money on marketing because all the news outlets reported about him because he like put his foot in his mouth like every other minute. That was easy, but everyone talked about him. Got in the presidency the first time. Megan here. Megan, I met her on the IMTS. She's an influencer. She's actually a technical writer. Content marketing works for her, right? Different kind of same industry, different kind of business works. Titan Gilroy, CNC manufacturing, right? Uses content marketing to blow up its front end, like at this point works for SpaceX and Blue Origin, the two private rocket companies. One owned also by Elon, and then the other one I think is Jeff Bezos. Yep. So works for those people too. It's a CNC manufacturing facility. That's the most boring thing I can think of. All right, but they get it done because it's easier for him because he owns the thing, right? But he has a podcast and he does like all kinds of like other manufacturing influencer. Who of you have Aaron in their LinkedIn list? Yeah, Aaron works for FedEx. Works for FedEx. Doesn't do that for FedEx, but brings FedEx in the influencer world all the time. All the time. Aaron is in your position. FedEx has a way bigger hurdle there to be like, hey, you know what? I want to create content for FedEx. They're like, no. Like we have a certain, brand awareness that we don't want to leave. That guy doesn't care because it's his name there. It's not FedEx. He's not a FedEx influencer, but he's a FedEx influencer. He talks about robotics and like how to improve logistics all the time. That's basically saying, hey, we at FedEx do all this all the time. That's content marketing done well, without him having to go and ask for permission. But he does that all the time. Chris here, same, in a manufacturing business, right? They do IT services and consulting. Same industry, different business, works, right? Those people, by the way, were on the 10 best influencers in 2022 on a manufacturing.inc magazine website just yesterday. Yeah, and then who knows Lauren, the spindle chick. So I know her personally. They do like spindle repairs, all right? Spindle repairs. They provide value for everyone. She's pretty outgoing. She also had, I think, a makeup channel or whatever on YouTube. But like, that's people that went out there and did content marketing for rather unsexy businesses.
But again, they put their name on. That's their brand. Like,
but it's look, what is on their website? It's like Motor City Spindle Repair is on there, right? But she is the face of, content marketing is about building the authority on something, right? Yeah. It's not so much always on, here's what we do, here's our product, and shove it down everyone's throat. It's more like this guy, right? This guy. Hey, I'm talking about robotics all the time and logistics and how great this all is and post all kinds of other stuff. I don't have to talk about FedEx all the time. And at the same time, I talk about FedEx because I work at FedEx. And then that guy does content marketing also all the time. Content marketing works. It doesn't matter for any business. any business, in any industry. Okay? You said it, but I'm not the owner. I can't do it, right? Neither is that guy, right? Also, you know, that works, but I have nothing to say. I hear that all the time. That guy has nothing to say either. He shares stuff from articles and stuff like that. It's like that person has very funny videos sometimes showing off like robotics, showing off like logistics centers that aren't FedEx, but still talks about FedEx without saying FedEx one time. It's building the authority of like, hey, I'm very interested in like innovation in the logistics space, robotics space, and therefore here's my content. Content marketing works for every business, any industry, and anyone. All right? And then once you have questions, you know, we can go ahead and, you know, right here.
Do you help people to get into that?
Yes. Well, we have the second business. Yes, the second business that we founded, that's Mapeos. Mapeos was founded to do my in-house marketing, and now we're offering that to the public for, you know, I have two backgrounds, right? I'm in the manufacturing space since over 25 years now. You know, first in Germany, I worked on both sides. I worked for Caterpillar for over 10 years on a manufacturing shop floor, right? Did that for 10 years, and then I switched over in the project world. I worked for Fortune 500 companies. I worked for smaller companies, you know, system integrators like Team Technik, for example, you know, where I have the knowledge on that side, and I'm a promoter since 1997. I have worked in digital marketing since then on the side. I had a few side hustle businesses in the event space. I helped my friends to build up their own startups in Germany, as well as here in the United States. And the other side of my background is real estate. I have been a licensed realtor for a long time in Chicago, and I cater to those industries too. Not interesting for you here unless you're a realtor, but like for us here, manufacturing space, we're talking about the two dinosaurs, right, of industries that are always last to any party. That's real estate and manufacturing, because it's a very different industry than, let's say, direct to consumer. Mostly it's all B2B, or it's B2C, but like it's, you know, it's highly regulated and it's not that easy. So that's the two.
Real estate is already more advanced in terms of.
But only the last few years, and it's only done by a few people. Like the most people in real estate are still, who has realtors in their Facebook list? Anyone? So what do they all do all the time? Just list it, just close. Who cares? Right? It's not effective. It's annoying. Right? It's like add. There's no value provided with that. Nothing. And that's the thing where, you know, the few people that have understood, like my friend Matt Laracy in Chicago, for example, like he has a small team, not a big, you know, a backup of a realty. His dad founded the realty back in the 70s or what. Founded a podcast that he goes live on like every week since I don't know how many years now. Is now the #2 realtor in the Chicago market. Sells almost $1 billion of real estate every year. That's content marketing. That's not like, get in the, like, provide value for your future clients, and then when they think of a realtor, they call Matt. So same in the manufacturing industry. It's like, if we are done with our marketing strategies end of next year, if someone thinks staffing, if someone thinks Siemens PLC training, they're going to call us. I don't have to do anything anymore. My customer acquisition cost didn't go back to zero because we create a lot of content and that costs money, but it goes way down than if I would have to run PPC ads all the time. And even if I run ads, they already know me. Now I know who to run those ads to, right? Because I can retarget the people that watch my videos already. Thank you.